G'day friends, my name is Franny. Welcome to your considered body strength workout. This class has a glutes focus, but of course there's going to be core work laid through as well. I'm going to take this entirely body weight, but no, depending on where you're at, you could add a resistance band around your thighs, or you could have a set of dumbbells at the top edge of your mat, and you can bring them into your hands for our standing movements. I like to think of this practice as the perfect prep for a long day of sitting, activating your glute muscles, your hip muscles that work so hard to support you as you move through life. Or this is the perfect little warm-up if you're about to take a long walk, a run, or a bike ride. Listen to your body. Take breaks if you need to take a break. We do not want to jeopardize quality of form for quantity of reps. We're going to get started lying down on our backs. Head is going to stay towards the top edge of the mat. Feet are going to stay towards the back edge. Let's go. Lying down on your back. Bend your knees, walk your feet in towards your hips. Make sure your shoulder blades are anchored and wide. There's that slight sway in the small of your back. And the back of your sacrum, the back of your pelvis is heavy. Start to float your knees to tabletop so your kneecaps are stacked over your hips and your arms are reaching in front of your chest. Finding a dead bug, as you inhale, start to extend your right arm, your left leg, reach them away from your center. And then as you exhale, pull them back into the starting position. Opposite side, left arm, right leg, reach. And then exhale, pull back in. Keep on going with your breath. Inhale to extend, exhale, return. Keeping the back of your hips, the back of your shoulders as steady as possible so there's no rocking from side to side. And think about pulling your pubic bone towards your bottom ribs. It's subtle, but the shift in sensation, the shift in energy is big. We're going to find a glute bridge after this. Just take one more on each side. And then start to bring your feet back down to the ground. Feet are hips distance apart. Again, knees are bent. And then press your palms into the ground. Get a little activation through the backs of your triceps. Take an inhale breath to prepare. And then as you exhale, squeeze your bottom. Lift your hips off the ground. It's not coming super high. Instead, we're focusing on maintaining that neutral spine. Keep your glutes squeezed as you inhale, lower down. And then squeeze them again. Exhale, lift up. Keep on going, lowering and lifting. Notice where you distribute the weight into your feet, rooting down evenly through heels, balls, and all 10 toes. Keeping your glutes squeezed the entire time, not just on the lifting phase. Notice how that shifts the sensation. Getting your big glute muscles, your glute max, to fire up. Keeping your pubic bone pulling towards your bottom ribs, feeling a little stretch through the belly of your quads as you rise. Taking a couple more, and we're going to return to our dead bug position with our knees in tabletop. This is your last one. Lower your hips down, sacrum nice and grounded, knees float, arms reach, and then hold. Start to press your feet away, extending your legs. Start to reach your thumbs back just an inch or so. Keep reaching back as long as you can maintain your neutral spine. Not exaggerating the curve through your lumbar region. Low abdomen knitting in. Bracing like you're preparing for a push or a punch. Breathing steady and smooth as best you can. It's almost like you're holding a plank, but lying on your back. You've got about 10 seconds to go. Can you explore that little bit more? Find your edge. Last 5, 4. We're going to roll to face each other in 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Turn to face me. Elbows stacked beneath your shoulders, knees are bent, heels pull in towards your hips. We're finding a diamond side plank. So shoulders, ribs, hips, knees, and heels are stacked. Take an inhale breath here, root down through your forearm. And then as you exhale, lift your hips, lift your top leg. It's external rotation there. And then lower with control. Continue that movement. It's exhale to lift your hips, lift your top knee. And then inhale, lower back down. So we're working our oblique, our hips on both sides, and our glutes are squeezed as we rise. You're not thrusting your pelvis forward. We're maintaining a straight line or that natural S-curve of our spine. We're firing up our glute min, our glute med, our smaller glute muscles here. These help our knees track in proper or optimal direction as we go about through life, reducing pain and risk of injury. Just take one more. Nice job. And then we're going to roll into an all fours position. So your leg closest towards me is going to be your working leg. Finding an all fours kick back, palms beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lift your leg to tabletop, knee bent, heel like it's stamping the ceiling. Inhale as you lower down, exhale as you lift. Keeping your heel pulling in towards your butt cheek to get a little bit more hamstring activation. Think about reaching your kneecap away. Your hips are not moving, there's no rotation. Stay steady and smooth, body and breath. Your spine, it's not swaying like a hammock here. Your belly button isn't lowering down towards the ground, but rather it's pulling towards your back body. Gaze at the top edge of your mat or the tips of the fingers. Try not to crank the back of your neck. Just take one more in your kick back and we're going to switch this into a fire hydrant. So next time your knee is below your hip, pause there for a moment. And then as you exhale, take your thigh out laterally. Inhale as you lower back to your starting position. And then exhale, lateral lift of your thigh towards the side. Keeping the bend in the knee, the pull of your heel towards your bum cheek. This is an anti-rotational movement. And again, just like in our diamond side plank, our outer hip muscles, our stabilizers are working hard here. Not just on your lifting side, but on your supporting grounded side as well. Steady, smooth breathing. Remember, our intention is quality over quantity, not jeopardizing our form in order to get more repetitions in. We're going to come up for a split squat. Take one more rep. And then lower your knee down. Start to step that same foot forward. Push on up. Staggered stance, split squat. So both knees are bent. Incline your spine forward. Brace through your belly. Maybe you bring your hands onto your hips. Lower your back knee down towards the ground. And then push into your front foot, lift on up. Not locking out, not coming to straight legs at top, but maintaining that bend in both knees. Lower down, lift up. So using the hinge from your hips, you're shifting more weight into your forward leg. Just like in your glute bridge, notice the distribution of weight through your front foot. Your heel, it's really heavy. That's where you're getting a lot of your drive, but you're using the ball of your foot, the arch, your toes to grip and to stabilize. So maybe you can connect that little bit more to your big toe. Maybe you can connect that little bit more to your pinky toe. And just see what you notice there. Just a couple more repetitions here. Then we're going to step our back leg in. We're going to reset with a large range. Squat. One of my favorite movements. This is your last one. Stay standing. Step both feet forward, finding this athletic stance, slightly wider than hips, slight external rotation through your feet. Knees are going to track in the direction of your pinky toes. Inhale as you lower, and then exhale, push the floor away. Soft bend at the hips and the knees at the top. Inhale, lower, and then exhale, squeeze to lift. So just like in our glute bridge, notice what happens when you squeeze your butt on the way down as well as on the way up. Keeping your chest lifted, really pressing your knees wide and forward, heart up, shoulder blades anchored, length through the crown of your head. Maybe you bring your hands to prayer, push them into each other, get that little bit of a counterbalance. Take 2 more, and then we're going to come all the way down onto the ground, lying on our bellies. This is your last one. And then come on down. Bring your forearms to stack. Rest your head on top of them, and then fan your knees as wide as your mat. Bring your heels to touch. We're going to find this froggy-like movement here. It might be subtle, the sensation might be big. Squeeze your glutes, lift your thighs off the ground, press your heels into each other, and then with control, lower down. Keep it going, squeeze your butt, press your heels, lift, and then inhale, lower down. Now your thighs, they may hardly be leaving the floor here. That's okay. We're getting good glute max activation, as well as through our inner and back line of our legs. Think your adductors and your hamstrings. Not only that, we're working to support our low back muscles here. Notice if your upper body is reacting to the lift of your legs, and then try and keep your chest, your arms, your head as grounded as you can. We're going to find our diamond side plank on the opposite side. You might roll away from me. I'm going to turn to the back edge of my mat. All right, that was your last one. Whew, shake it off if you need. And then set your forearm down beneath your shoulder. Shoulders, ribs, hips, knees, and heels stack. You've got this lightning bolt bend from your hip down. Squeeze your heels together, heavy through your forearm. Inhale as you prepare. And then exhale, lift your hips, open your top leg. With control, lower down, breathe in, and then exhale, squeeze to lift. Again, we're not thrusting our hips forward, we're not arching through our back, but rather lifting and lowering a straight line up and down, keeping our core engaged to honor our neutral spine. It's the most optimal for helping us to move pain and injury free throughout our life. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, see if you can find softness there, and then direct your energy, your attention, the resistance you're feeling towards the muscles in your hips. Not letting your ribs drop towards the ground, keeping that lift away even in your bottom or resting position. We're just going to take one more, and then we're going to roll once again into our all fours position. Your top leg will be your lifting leg, hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Finding your all fours, kick back, inhale to prepare, brace through your abdomen, and then exhale, 90-degree bend in your leg. Stamp your heel towards the ceiling, pull your heel towards your hip. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, lift up, kick back. Not letting your hips roll to one side, but rather keeping your frontal hip points shining down towards the ground like headlights on a car. Same with the eyes of your shoulders. And your gaze is just forward towards the floor. You're not looking back at your knees. You're not crunching through the back of your neck. When we extend the back of our neck, our low back has a tendency to sway as well. So we want to maintain that neutral position all the way from the top down to the bottom. Taking this into our fire hydrant, our external rotation, thigh out towards the side. This is your last one here. And then next time you lower your knee, keep it to a hover, take an inhale, and then exhale, finding your fire hydrant once again. There's minimal rotation through your pelvis, through your spine with this lateral movement. If you're going to linger somewhere, see if you can hold at the top, feel the strength, embrace the tremors before lowering with control. Not rushing through this, but rather seeking out movement that is steady and smooth, using the flow of your breath to mirror that. Keeping your navel pulling up and in, bracing through your trunk. Just taking a few more here. Noticing what you notice, not blocking anything out. This is your last one. We're going to come into our split squat stance once again. Step your leg forward and through. Lift your back knee off the ground. Incline your spine. Both knees are bent. And then pause for a moment. Find a place to rest your hands or reach your arms down to frame your front knee. Start to bend both knees that little bit more. Back knee below your hip as you inhale. And then exhale, push into your front foot without locking out the legs at the top. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you push into your front foot. Notice where you're feeling the drive down to lift up. Your heel is really heavy, and then you're using the knuckles of your toes, the ball mound, to help stabilize. Your ankle is working to help you balance, your knee joint is working to help you balance, and all of that information is being carried up into your hips. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you rise. You are on the home stretch. We have 10 more seconds here before we step forward. Our final squat. This is your last one. Nice job. Bring your feet slightly wider than your hips, finding that athletic stance once again. Bend your knees, press them wide, keep your chest up as you lower into your squat, and then big push down to lift on up. No thrusting of your hips at the top. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand tall and proud. Feeling all the muscles in your hips. Feeling your hamstrings, the backs of your thighs, your quads, the front of your thighs. Feeling the heat, the sweat, the breath, all of these elements, all of these signs that you're here, you're present, you're alive, you're doing it. What an incredible body you have. This is your last one. Stand up tall. Nice job. Take a big wide stance with your feet parallel. Inhale your arms up high. And then exhale. Maybe you heel toe your feet wider or more narrow as you hinge and fold. Bringing your hands onto the ground, maybe just your fingertips as you bump and sway your hips from side to side, getting a little rotation there. And then start to pivot back towards the front edge of your mat. Set your knee closest to me down, and then start to straighten your opposite or forward leg. Finding a half split, you have the option just to hold or to shift backwards and forwards from your extension into a lunge. And then shift into all fours just to transition opposite leg forward. And then start to straighten at the back of the knee, finding your half split once again. Really think about pulling your forward hip crease back and dropping your shoulder blades away from your ears. You might stay here, or again, shifting into a lunge and then pulling back once again. Just a little mobility and flexibility before we step off our mats and back into our day. And then start to step your back leg forward into a more narrow forward fold. Put as much bend in your knees as you need. Maybe you cross your arms and just find a little sway from left to right. Taking a big breath in, an open mouth sigh. And then slowly start to rise all the way up. Big reach of your arms overhead at the top. And then start to bring your hands down towards your heart. Acknowledging your body, your effort, your hard work. Thank you for being here. I hope it felt good, and I'll see you again soon.